Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Cobra Central Toy Review. And today is all you'll be looking at the 2005 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe vehicle and action figure review. And today's vehicle and action figure review, we'll be looking at the DTC, which is acronym stands for Direct to Consumer, online exclusive, and also was sold as a toy as exclusive of the Cobra H.I.S.S, the high-speed sentry tank, and also the Night Creeper. Now I got this straight from eBay, and it's not easy to get the Cobra H.I.S.S, at least the DTC version of the Cobra H.I.S.S mint in box, because it's rather rare to get this, especially in the mint in box anyway, especially when even it's loose complete. I got this mint in box for $32.99, which is not including the shipping price as well. Now, what's interesting to note about this Cobra H.I.S.S is that it was very well sought out by a lot of G.I. Joe collectors due to the design itself. Yes, the design itself, which is totally using a new mold, that it fires missiles, and it also acts as a troop carrier. Furthermore, this Cobra H.I.S.S tank is also quite interesting to note. There is no version mentioned about this H.I.S.S tank, unlike H.I.S.S tank 1, H.I.S.S tank 2, H.I.S.S tank 3, H.I.S.S tank 4, and H.I.S.S tank 5 that were all released throughout the years from the 80s up until 2011. This version of a Cobra H.I.S.S wasn't given any model number at all. It was quite interesting. Furthermore, it wasn't actually officially listed out in the comics as well. It was quite interesting for this vehicle. Another interesting point is that for a Cobra H.I.S.S tank, it is piloted by a Night Creeper. As you can see, the Night Creeper here is a Cobra Ninja. Not too sure why Hasbro decided to put a Cobra Ninja and package it with a Cobra H.I.S.S tank here, considering they are not actually trained as a tank driver. But let's move on to that subject first. Let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging itself. Now, everything there is all in black background with a nice little G.I. Joe logo on the top, with a nice little Cobra enemy with a Cobra logo stamp on this section here. You got the entire image of the vehicle, and you're barely able to see the driver, the Night Creeper driver here. You can see it more better on the top section of the artwork. Very nicely done. Behind the H.I.S.S tank itself is a large explosion, and one section here is a smaller window displaying the figure, the Night Creeper Cobra Ninja. Now, top section there is a close-up of the cockpit itself, and here we have the file card for the Cobra Ninja, the Night Creeper. Now, on the top section there stated codename Night Creeper Cobra Ninja. Bottom section here is a nice image of the Night Creeper itself. Now, stating here, the Night Creeper forces are a super secret group of high-tech ninjas who had a long-standing contract with Cobra to handle high-risk field intelligence operations and covert infiltration. They are extremely crafty, well-motivated, and have an abnormally high pain tolerance, which makes them hard to predict, hard to stop, and hard to knock down and keep down. If you totally ruthless person, train him for 10 years in 5 forms of martial arts, and then equip him with all the most advanced electronic, stealth, and passive sensor technology, you may have an approximation of an ordinary high-tech ninja. Once you strip away all of his scruples, morals, and innate feelings of common decency, then you have a Night Creeper. Very interesting. Someone quoted, "There is no place you can hide where we can't find you, no fortress that can keep us from getting to you, and no armor to protect you once we are there." Very interesting. Again, it does not explain why a Night Creeper figure is being packaged with the Cobra H.I.S.S, because clearly it's already stated in the file card they are meant for infiltration and assassination. Yes, they do use high-tech equipment, but not as a specialist for a tank driver. Not too sure why Hasbro thought it's a good idea. On the other side is the same image of the Cobra H.I.S.S. So that's on the other side with a close-up. And at the bottom, nothing much, just the word G.I. Joe Cobra H.I.S.S with Night Creeper figure. And at the back portion of the packaging itself, we get to see the actual image of the toy itself, listing out a lot of its features. We have pivoting gun turret, open sights to access transport area, launchers that fires missiles, canopy that opens, removable front guns. Very nice. And you got the Night Creeper figure with a size comparison with the Cobra H.I.S.S. Very nice. Now I already babbled long enough. Let's open up this baby so we can molest the toys. Be right back. And we're back after reviewing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. Now let's take a look at the Cobra Night Creeper first. Now what's really disappointing that the figure, as you can see here, does not come with a base stand, no backpack, and no weapons at all. And what's worse, this is a Cobra Ninja and he wasn't given any swords. So it's really disappointing that you have a DTC exclusive figure and he's not given with any weapons at all. So let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now the entire figure is made of a dull red plastic material color with paint jobs including silver, black, flesh tone skin, and a little bit of white. Now upper biceps on both sides of the arms are not painted at all, just pure plastic material color. The lower arms, the straps there are painted in black. However, on the other side of the arm there, you can see the armor parts for the forearm, and also the forehand is painted in silver. Same goes on the other side, black straps, silver paint job on the armor. Torso there, you got a chest plate there that's painted in silver. And the back portion of the figure is also painted in silver as well for the armor part. Straps for both sides begin from the back all the way to the front is painted in black. Belt is painted in black all the way around, except for the belt buckle there is painted in silver. There's a little bit of smudge there at the end corner of the belt buckle, but I'm still alright with that. For the thigh section, the armor part, as you can see, is painted in silver. Kneecap and towards the lower section, midsection of the shin itself is painted in black. And for the boots itself, the top section of the boots, just on the top, not at the bottom, is painted in silver. And for the head itself, from the back all the way to the front, the armor part has been painted in silver. There's a bit of flesh tone skin painted there as well near the eyes, and the eyes has been painted with white and black pupils. Very nice. I would say the paint job is actually very nicely done. Not too much smudge going on. It's really nicely done. Plus the fact that it's also quite shiny, as you can see there. Very nicely done. However, for the mold itself, well, technically the mold is sort of unique. It is a repaint figure. This is the fifth Cobra Night Creeper that will release, including this one. And the mold itself is unique because no other figures actually use any of the Night Creeper's parts for any other characters. And the mold was originally released in the G.I. Joe Spy Troops, the G.I. Joe vs. Cobra Spy Troops line, where the original Night Creeper was packaged with Kamakura during 2003. And what's funny about that was that the first Night Creeper that was released back in 2003 was in blue. So this is the fifth version, which is in red. We have also green as well for whatever reason. So the mold is actually not bad looking, considering the armor parts that the Cobra Night Creeper has is also quite nicely done. I really like the overlapping armor parts for the thigh and the face itself, and also the chest armor. Very nice. Very nicely done. I really like the way they do with the bottom section of the foot there. One section here is the toe, and the rest of the section here is the rest of the toes itself. You got the big toe there. Very nice. Very nicely done with the details. But what I really don't like is why is the torso and the crotch area so short? Because it's so short, it makes the arms look, really long, like a gorilla. As you can see there, this is the thigh itself, and you can see the hand here near reaching to the The knee joint, I really don't like the torso design. It's just way too short. And if you want to do a comparison with a 30th anniversary figure, as you can see, it is a bit shorter, but you can see the torso size difference. This one is way too short. But I still like the mold though. The mold is actually quite nicely done. There's a lot of wrinkles from the costume itself, or the uniform. I really like the armor parts there. It's quite nicely done with the details. Very nice. But it's also quite disappointing there's no Cobra logo found anywhere for the figure. I really wish they would at least put some effort to put a Cobra logo, well, on the upper bicep or on the chest armor at least, but, well, not much you can do about it. This is how they design it anyway. So let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now, the neck joint is on the ball joint, so yes, you can tilt the head, well, straight, back, side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees because due to the cut of the torso itself, when you turn it upwards, it tends to spread the arms out. You can, well, lift the arms this high, has a swivel elbow joint that turns 360 degrees, elbow joints that bend this far, a swivel wrist joint that turns 360 degrees, very nice. We have an O-ring instead for the torso joint itself, which based on the, well, the classic look of the G.I. Joe figures. So you can actually turn left and right, down, back. I do not suggest turning the entire figure's torso 360 degrees. You'll end up breaking the O-ring there. So we have a hip joint that moves forward, back a little bit, to the sides. And we have a knee joint that bends only this far, which is rather disappointing, but what can you do? This is a 2005 figure, which based on the 2003 figure. Ankle joint here can pivot downwards and upwards. So the articulation is actually not bad. It can actually does, well, a decent amount of pose. Problem with the figure is that he doesn't even have any weapons to play around with it. So yes, it's quite, well, disappointing for a ninja who had swords. You can always place the figure into the H.I.S.S tank, but he is a ninja. It's kind of awkward to put a ninja in a Cobra H.I.S.S tank. Still, the figure is not bad, despite that he has no accessories at all. Decent articulation, but the torso still looks pretty deformed, pretty short. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this figure, I'll say I'll give it a nice 5 out of 10. Yes, 5 out of 10 for the Cobra Night Creeper, because no accessories really is a disappointment. Really deformed torso, that's kind of weird looking. So yes, 5 out of 10 for the Cobra Night Creeper. Next up, we'll take a look at the DTC Cobra H.I.S.S. Be right back. And we're back after fully assembling the Cobra H.I.S.S. Now, let's take a look at what's being packaged inside the box itself. We have a small little instruction sheet here, and one side of the instruction sheet showcase the 3 images of 3 different angles of the Cobra H.I.S.S. Here is the listing of all the features for the Cobra H.I.S.S itself. Although it's a bit pity that it doesn't follow the 80s and 90s style where it lists out all the technobabble details to describe each part of the vehicle's, well, parts. That's a little bit disappointing that they don't follow the same way, but whatever. On the other side here is a small little instruction manual on how to assemble the Cobra H.I.S.S, which is very easy to assemble. Now, for the Cobra H.I.S.S, it actually comes with 10 accessories. 8 of them are the red missiles and 2 of them are the machine guns, which you can plug it out. It's connected at the bottom section of the cockpit itself. As you can see, once it's plugged out, there's a huge peg there, and the entire thing is made of a black plastic material color. You got a stock at the back, the barrel in the front, and a handle, enough for the figure to hold on to. Or you can always plug it underneath the cockpit of the Cobra H.I.S.S because it looks much more better that way. And then we have the red missiles, actually not painted at all, made of a red plastic material color. Now, speaking of the color itself, The Cobra H.I.S.S here, as you can see, the entire body is made of a black plastic material color. Some parts are actually painted. The missile launchers are actually made of a, I would say, really dull gold plastic material color. All 4 pieces of the missile launchers there. The canopy hatch here is made of a clear dark purple plastic material color, so you're barely able to see anything, but if you point it on a very bright light, you can actually see through the canopy itself. Otherwise, if I tilt the vehicle on one side without much of lighting, you're barely able to see anything here. The entire canopy here, as you can see, the edges are painted with a really dull gold paint job with muddy stains there. Very nice. So that's on the other side. And speaking of the muddy stains, the missile launchers there are also painted with the muddy stains as well. Not too sure how the mud stains managed to go all the way up there, but whatever. Side of the tracks here, this section of the armor itself that's covering the wheels for protection is also painted the same colors as the canopy itself, also covered with the muddy stains. Very nice. Headlights are also painted in gold. Very nicely done. And what's nice about this vehicle is that there are no sticker labels. First, the logo for the Cobra logo here, a skull logo here, and a triangle logo with number 1. They are all painted on. So that's on the other side. Very nice. And the stickers has been pre-applied. As you can see, this turret here, the control turret here, and also at the cockpit section here as well. Stickers have been pre-applied, which is very nice. Very nicely done. Now that's all the colors for the Cobra H.I.S.S. Let's take a look at the vehicle's mold. This is a 2005 mold, and during that time that was released, it was totally new mold. It wasn't used in any other way for all the parts itself, not from any other vehicles before 2005. And what's funny about this vehicle is that they reused this vehicle's mold for the Sigma 6 line, but they reconstructed the cockpit itself for a smaller cockpit for the 2.5-inch figures, which is rather disappointing. Also, they reconstructed the missile launchers to fit in a way more bigger missiles. But I am quite surprised. This vehicle's mold is absolutely gorgeous. Very gorgeous indeed. And up until now, till 2011, and we're almost going to 2012, they never reused this mold again, except for the Sigma 6 line, which is kind of strange. First, we have the canopy here, and here we have the cockpit. The cockpit section here, you got a nicer seating. Now, at the end of the sides of the cockpit itself, we got a lot of panel, but at the end section there, I'm not sure if you can see it due to the lighting itself, but whatever. There's keypads molded there as well. Very nice. The seating is also very nice. At the bottom section here, there's a lot of rivets there. And with the design of the seating here, you can actually bend the figure's knee a little bit, so it actually does sit down. Very nicely done. There's a lot of leg room inside the cockpit as well. Very nice. The overall design of the Cobra H.I.S.S there looks similarly like, well, the 1983 release of the H.I.S.S tank, but with a little bit of, I would say, influence of the H.I.S.S 2 as well. As you can see, there's a lot of nice details there. Headlights, the armor parts, the slope armor, the panels, the treads. The treads are very nicely done. Or wirings as well. I really like this entire design of the treads itself. They actually, well, molded this way for protection of the wheels. makes sense. Here you got two tanks. I assume they are gas tanks or oxygen tanks. I'm not too sure. Same goes on the other side as well. We still got the missile launchers as well, of course. Got panels on the top. Got a turret. Very nice. Inside the turret itself, there's a big hole there for you to place a figure inside. Very nice. Back portion of the vehicle, this section is all hollowed out. Here is a smaller platform with one peg for one figure to stand onto, or two if you can manage to have the two figures to stand on without toppling over. You will also notice at the bottom section of the H.I.S.S tank there's nothing, well, there's no towable hook there. So it's a little bit disappointing and kind of weird that they don't actually include that for this vehicle. Now on the side, you can actually open up the sides of the vehicle, both sides. As you can see, this piece here is the turret piece here, and inside there are 3 benches to store more figures inside. There's also a bit more molding of panels. Very nice. Very nicely done. Now, let's take a look at the vehicle's features. Yes, I almost forgot. Underneath the vehicle, more armor parts. This section here stated at 2005 Hasbro Incorporated, made in China, and there are 4 wheels. Now, let's take a look at the vehicle's features. First, we'll open up the canopy to place a figure inside. The Night Creeper, as originally intended to. And close the hatch, like so. The problem with the hatch is that because due to the size of the pig itself and due to the room of the canopy, it's really hard to close it sometimes, and it's really hard to try to pull it out. Now the figure is sitting inside. With the bright lighting you can see the figure is inside, but if you tilt it in one angle you're barely able to see it, except just a little bit there. Now each of the missile launchers, there's one button on the side of the missile launcher, as you can see, on the top of the missile launcher. Now by pressing the button itself, it launches the missiles, but if you slowly press the button itself, you will launch the missile one by one. So here you go, 1 and 2. If you press it all the way, you'll launch both missiles at the same time, like so. All the missile launchers work very well, and this is the missiles itself. At the bottom of the cockpit itself, we have the 2 machine guns which you can swivel left and right. You can swivel 360 degrees, but it being hindered by this other piece of machine gun here. Have to plug in the pig. Now, does it roll very well? Yes, it rolls very well, and very far too. Very nicely done with the wheels there. Now the problem with the turret itself is really hard to turn the turret. Really hard. So as you can see how tight the joint is. It's really hard to turn the turret. It can turn 360 degrees, but God, it's so hard to turn it back, as you can see here. And I'm trying to turn the turret back without accidentally launch the missiles. And here the 2 missile launchers, you can actually pivot like so, front or up. And no, they're not in one piece. It's different pieces, so you have to adjust it one by one at the same time. Now, let's do a size comparison between this Cobra H.I.S.S to the normal Cobra H.I.S.S. As you can see, this vehicle is way more wider and way more longer, as you can see here. It's a bit more longer actually. You can't see the sides. You can see that. Very nice. Let's do a size comparison with the H.I.S.S 2. I have the H.I.S.S 2 next to me. As you can see, the H.I.S.S 2 is way more bigger than this Cobra H.I.S.S, of course. Very nice. And let's not forget a size comparison with the figure. Put this on one side. There you have it. Very nice. I'll put the figure on one side. Now, you're wondering how many figures you can actually store at the back here. As you can see, the problem with the back part of the compartment is because of the turret piece here. So it actually obstructs while putting more figures there. So you sacrifice 2 seating areas for the figures thanks to this piece here. But you must be wondering, how many figures can you actually put back there? And is it compatible, well, to the new figures like the 25th anniversary figures or the 30th anniversary figure? Well, we'll be right back after I fully stock the vehicle with all the figures. And we're back, and this time the Cobra H.I.S.S has been outfitted with the 30th anniversary figures and the 25th anniversary figure. The cockpit here, we have the H.I.S.S tank driver from the 25th anniversary line. And the turret, manning the turret, will be the 30th anniversary Cobra Viper. And inside the vehicle, as you can see, it's all fitted with the Cobra Vipers. On this section, in the middle section of the bench itself, you can actually fit in 2 figures. And on the side of the bench itself, you can fit in 1 figure each. But what's sad about this vehicle is that because of this piece here, part of the turret, you sacrifice 2 bench seats. That's the sad part. Also, another bad point about this vehicle is that one of the panels tends to pop off quite easily when you open it. Overall, the vehicle is very nice. I really like the vehicle. First off, because due to the ability to, well, transport troops. Second, the entire mode is all new stuff. New stuff during the 2005, of course. Third, this is a H.I.S.S tank that fires missiles. So, what's not to like? I really like vehicles that actually has the capability to shoot down planes anyway. Another point of factor is that it has a lot of weapons, a lot of missiles, and 2 machine guns underneath the cockpit. Then the cockpit, turret, and the back compartment there is, well, there's enough room to put in the new figures, so it's really nice. Plus the fact that when you roll the tank, it doesn't have this squeaky, annoying sound, so it's very nice. The paint has been already applied on the vehicle itself. There's no sticker labels that you need to apply onto the vehicle. Everything is very well done. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this vehicle, I say I'll give it a nice 9 out of 10. Despite the really tight joint of the turret itself, plus the waste of space for this section here, part of the turret now, wasting the 2 bench seats, so you can, well, you cannot put in 2 more figures inside. So yes, I give it a nice 9 out of 10 for the DTC version of the Cobra H.I.S.S. And I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.